Hi, welcome along. Richie here from the Heresy group. So, as in the description, this is part two, basically a bit of an update on how I'm getting on with my cam concealment and sort of ghille crafting. Not quite got to that bit yet, but how I'm getting on with my loadout in general. Now, last time I spoke to you guys in part one, I was concentrating on the rifle. Basically, you know, went away. As I said, dressed it up, put that sleeve onto the rifle that Tim gave us, which is basically crafted out of an old Jack Pike leaf suit. We cut the leg off of. It's all there in part one of this live series. So, tried it on the rifle. Those of you that are unaware, those of you that are just joining, Jamie Britt, welcome along, mate. You know, I wanted to try and put an all-in-one sleeve over the top of my DMR. Now, obviously, unlike Tim is running the SRS, the bolt action rifle system. Mine is a DMR, which basically has all the workings of a regular sort of AR platform. So, you know, you have your fire selector switch, you know, you have your mag up front, pistol grip to the rear. So I tried to take all of this into account, but in, you know, realistic terms, like I say, I dressed the rifle up with a cover, a bit of Hessian, some leaves, etc. But as with all good things, you have to test them. Went away, tried some mag changes in every position, you know, kneeling, prone, standing, mag changes, rifle transitions left to right shoulder. Tried to work the gun and the concealment system in every way that it may be used in the field. And unfortunately, with that sleeve over the top, it just didn't work. You know, things snagged, things got in the way. I couldn't. Sometimes I'd go to put my hand, you know, from a patrol position up to the gun to try and get to the trigger well, and that sleeve would just get in the way. So what I decided to do was just dial it back a bit, you know, and still use the same process that I discussed in the first video, but basically put it onto the DMR. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys this now. If I can move the mountain of kit that I've got here. So, Jamie Britt, what optic are you going to run if it's set up as a DMR? Basically, mate, at this point, I'm running the Vision King short dot, but this will get updated to of course, a Vortex optic at some point. This, as I say, is a work in progress. This is, you know, a real early stages for me with this whole setup. So I just want to run with the, you know, this short dot. I think it's 1 to 5, I think, zoom on this, but you know, it's not great. Radar 6. This is the VFC, mate. So this is the VFC DMR. But yeah, I'm going to stick with the Vision King short dot just for now, just to run out for the first game or so, and I'm already trying to decide what optic it will be best on this platform. So, just going back to the cam concealment, as you can see, there isn't much on this. Now, as I discussed in the first video, I'll try and give you guys a bit of a close-up on this. So what I did was I basically put some of this camo tape. Now, this is the Gorilla tape. This is not the Jack Pike stuff. But I wrapped this, so a small section here, and a small section to the rear. So basically what I could do, I could use a hot glue gun to attach this sprayed up scrim net that I've got here. I could glue gun the scrim net to the tape without any detrimental effect to the rifle itself. You know, so I'm not going to be sitting there trying to scrape, you know, old, you know, hot glue off this gun if I need to remove this at some point. You know, yes, this is an old rifle. It's a little bit beat up. Well, not beat up, but it's just got that warning look, and that's how I like it. But those of you that like your rifle looking pristine, you know, you may want to preserve that. So that's why that tape's there. So I use the tape as basically like a you know, a base layer to allow you to anchor, basically anchor points fore and aft on this suppressor here. Then glued the scrim net to the tape, front and rear. Then what I've done is I've added I cut up some old camo netting I had, cut it into sort of strips, sort of about yay long. So as you can see, you've still got that nice spine to it there, which is actually quite tough, this stuff. I don't know where this is from, got it from somewhere along the many years, but you know, the spine is really strong, it's not going to break, but it just adds that sort of that broken leaf look. And all I did was basically wrap it around the suppressor like so, but obviously, you know, spacing it out to try and make it look as sparse as possible. On top of that, so we added another layer on top of that. Like I said to you before, I had this this old Sniper Systems ghillie suit, a very sort of stringy, Hessian-y kind of affair, which is what you can see there. Now what I did is I basically took strands, I'm going to say about so long. So I took 2 of the sort of tan colour, 2 of the green, stretched them out, folded them in half, and then basically fed them through this scrim net here. So you got your little hexagon squares there, fed it in one side, out the other, tied a little knot, and you should end up with a nice long sort of tail. I have broken this up, guys, but I'm trying to see if I can find a section to show you. So there we go. So I've just tied it to the scrim net in a nice sort of long tail like that. Now, obviously it doesn't want to be uniform. I've tried to spread it out in various places, you know, sporadic, nothing uniform. But once through, obviously cut a few short, left a few long. But most importantly, what I did is I got a pair of scissors, and for want of a better word, just back combed this. So got it, run the scissors back against here. So then with all this sort of, you turn it, make it all sort of fluffy, and then with a sort of a gentle roughing up, you can space this out, move this around, you know, just so it's not, you know, it's not a uniform pattern, it's not a nice, there's no sort of straight lines as such, it all sort of molds in. So that's where we're at there for the suppressor cover. Also obviously did the same on the optic, small section of tape here, small section of tape at the back. Charlie, welcome along, mate, hope you're good. Sneaky Sniper, how's it doing, buddy? Yeah, so small section of tape at the front, small section of tape at the rear, again, just to protect the optic or whatever equipment you're adding it to. You're not going to damage it in the long run. But obviously I've just left this, I haven't wrapped it right round, because also I need to get to my adjustments, my windage and elevation here and here, which are all accessible. So for the most part, you know, me and Tim set this up. Anyone that saw the other live video that wasn't live, you know, we set this up in our little hide, in our little sort of sniper's hide. And this actually wasn't that apparent. Bear in mind, you are only seeing this sort of section of the gun. Now, I'm going to give this another spray job. This was sort of more a very light camouflage coating, as we'd call it, from many, many years ago when I first got this rifle. But I think I'm going to go ahead and give it a full, an actual full camo paint job. You know, being obviously rural, I'm probably going to go more green. Obviously, this is quite tan. Being the rifle is you know, a tan base already, I'm going to go quite a green colour. So yeah, quite happy with that. Super happy. Obviously, mags are very, very bright. They will be getting a big coat on there just to try and cover that up. So that's where we're at with the rifle right now. And to be honest with you, you know, all the good stuff, you know, all of your mag catches, you know, mag releases, your fire selector switches, both sides are good. Sorry guys, I've just dropped the pin at the back of the rifle. But yeah, so super happy with that. Also moving on for this, you know, I touched on the North Mountain Gear ghillies last week, or the last time I've done this video in part 1. Super happy. I've still yet to tweak with that. With the sort of range day sort of kit testing me and Tim done the other day, on the weekend just gone, I noticed the Mountain Gear leaf suit was, or ghillie, was quite dark. Brooksy, what's happening, mate? Was quite, yeah, quite a dark. He's meant for winter and fall, but it's quite dark even for the British winter. Like I say, it's still a big learning curve for me, a very steep learning curve. So, but we're getting there. So like I say, not touched the leaf suit as yet, but you know, anyone knows me knows I've always run a lid, always have. Just one of the things, because I've needed the equipment that runs on the lid. However, for Recce style stuff, lids are not necessarily needed unless you know, you get to your nighttime ops. So I went ahead, took the plunge after many years, and got myself a boonie. Now already you can see this is not normal. I have done some bits and pieces to this, and I think I'm super happy with how this has turned out, to be fair. Obviously the light doesn't really do it justice. So pretty much the same concept as the rifle. I've just added these almost like Hessian strips from the Sniper Systems Head and Shoulders ghillie. Again, just tied them. Let's find a blank spot. So on here, they've got these nice molly loops on this boonie. I've just tied them around that. a tiny dob of with hot glue gun, just to hold that in place. Although it's tied with a knot, just stop that coming undone. And then obviously to conceal the knots, etc., or to stop this molly looking so bare, I've just added that cam netting around as well. Again, being a brand new boonie, I didn't want to waste time, you know, wearing it in, getting it bedded in. So went back to the good old Krylon or Halford's camo paint. Just a quick blast, some brown, some green, and a very slight hint of tan, you know, all over where is needed. No, Jamie, I will not be putting this on, mate. it looks absolutely ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's gonna take me a long time to get used to this. Very long time. But yeah, you know, me and Tim trialled this at the weekend, and super happy with how this looks from a distance. You know, from sort of 40 meters plus, it's absolutely great. And the good thing about it, obviously, it folds down. It's absolutely nothing. And obviously, the more you crinkle this up and the more you mess this up, the more it looks rough and ragged and stops any of those, you know, definitive lines being so visually apparent. So super happy with that. Now, I had a lot of feedback from you guys, questions, comments, you know, massive help with how I'm setting this up and how I'm, you know, finding my way, stumbling through the minefield that is Ghille Crafting and cam and concealment. So we've had kit coming in all the time. Just adding to this now. What we also, I took a you know, a stab in the dark with was, oh yeah, sorry guys. So this is the pack that I was using at the weekend. This is basically a Plat Attack prototype. Very similar to those of you that know about the Mystery Ranch 3-day pack. Absolutely awesome. It has a 3-way zip. Here, and then one all the way down the middle. So in here I've got everything I need for the day. Guys, there will be a video on this. Should be releasing soon. I'll have to, off the top of my head, I can't remember when it's scheduled to drop, but it is coming soon, so don't panic. So yeah, so I took a punt at something that I thought, you know, may or may not be useful. This is a lot bigger than I thought it would be when I actually purchased this. So what we have here is basically it's a Jack Pike hide net. Now, as you can see, if I hold this up, from here, you know, it's got the nice dark autumn fall sort of leaf pattern on it. But as you can see, if I put my hand right up close to it, it's actually quite see-through. So the good thing about this is, you know, the plan behind this is to actually use it as a, this is not, how can I describe it? It's not a magical net, it's not an invisible cloak that, you know, we're just going to throw over and you're not going to see us. This will take some work. Again, much like the North Mountain Gear leaf suit, this will need some dabbling, some bits added to it. It is not a standalone system. So this will be in conjunction with, you know, with our hide. You know, we're basically going to, you know, whether it's hollowing out a bush, you know, crawl in and with some secateurs, you know, cut the bush out from the inside out. This then will go up as an added layer, you know, to basically put this in to basically break up any light, any silhouettes. So, you know, keep it nice and dark with the shadows. So this is this is kind of a work in progress. This is a trial by fire. This, we tried it out on the weekend, didn't look too bad. Again, was quite dark for the surroundings, but I think this is again designed more for if you tuck yourself right into a bit of green, a bit of bush. So yeah, super happy with that. We'll see how that gets on. Now, we spoke a little bit about obviously about urban stuff. We had some good feedback from some guys about what we're going to be using urban wise. We have still got kit rolling in for that, i.e., you know, gun saddles, you know, recording equipment, etc. Also, I know Tim's got his laser rangefinder from Vortex Optics, which is awesome. But you know, we still, with urban, it's not really about cam and concealment. However, you still need to think about that. That is still an option that you need to be aware of. Although you're tucked back in a building, you're not invisible. Yes, Jamie, this is our serious platform. For those of you that still keep up on Instagram, I probably will be jumping onto Instagram after this, where we can get a little bit loose and speak a bit freer. So going back into it, so urban surveillance, urban recce, or urban sniping. You know, ideally we don't want to be sniping, but you know, if the needs must, we will take a shot. So really, and we got some good feedback from some guys. Obviously, some guy mentioned, why don't you get a bit of a, you know, black scrim net and put it over yourself? Literally, I had one in the post as he commented it. So just your basic, I think this is web text, I think, black scrim net. You know, you can put this over your head and shoulders, over the whole length of the gun. Just a simple rubber band round the objective lens of the optic, just so you can still see out of it. And this will break up, you know, in the shadows quite nicely, your silhouette back at the back of the room. Obviously, anyone knows anything about urban, you know, weapons manipulation or urban recce, you don't need to be rifle out of the window. That's an absolute no-no. Christopher, what's happening, mate? How are you? Scambo, mate, absolutely, yeah. I mean, lens glare, I do think people look into it a lot more than what it's, you know, apparent, but you know, it's still something to think about, absolutely. So again, along with that, we've got a nice big roll of Gorilla tape. So this can be for, you know, taping up a window with scrim net, some sort of Hessian, you know, depending on what sort of the you know, opening we've got. Now, this is also good for, because let's face it, if you're taking intel, you're taking you know, intelligence, you know, visual intelligence, then, you know, you need to be writing this down and putting it somewhere. So the idea is we have this, we have a nice big map, you know, somewhere on the wall, somewhere, you know, we can all see it, or even on the floor. You know, if we're laying prone, this will be taped to the floor, stop any wind picking it up and it going everywhere. So 100 mile an hour tape is always a man's best friend. And again, along with taking down notes and basic surveillance, obviously, you know, it doesn't hurt to have a, you know, a cheat sheet as such. So we knocked these up. I did knock these up many years ago, these little cheat sheets, but it's just as a quick reference guide. These are awesome. So all this is just a little breakdown to show you, you know, which aspect of the house you're looking at. So when someone talks about the front of a house, you know, you can break it down. You know, front side is the white aspect, back side is black, red is right, etc. Green is left. And also, those of you who don't know, the A to H, when you're describing a person, and obviously your vehicle descriptions, you know, so you need to be able to, when you're on the comms or you're writing down intel, you know, you need to make things clear and concise. And like I say, just a little cheat sheet just there, you know, age, build, you know, clothing, description, etc. You know, what they're wearing. And again, with the car, shape, color, registration, identifying features, make and model. Yeah, hand little cheat sheet. Just as those of you that know from when I do my comms, I have a little cheat sheet for the comms as well. But this obviously, this is for me and Tim when we're taking notes and obviously passing intel back to 0. So that'll be super handy. Again, just going back to the bag, there will be a video on this, But basically, I am super happy with how this is rolled out. You know, I fit everything I needed to fit in there at the weekend. That's water, food, warm clothing, surveillance equipment, recording equipment, batteries, ammo, bangs, trip mines. You know, all the good stuff that's in there. But there will be a video on that. So that's where we're at right now. Moving forward, what is next? Basically, I think I'm going to be, like I say, touching up either the Jack Pike hide net, and also I want to touch on the North Mountain Gear leaf suit from Skirm Shop. Now, to do this, I think I mentioned in the video before, I don't think I might add some of this, but maybe just in very small sections, to break up. But basically, Tim was very kind enough to get us some of these sneaky leaves, also available from Skirm Shop. Like I say, they come in various different colours. So you've got some nice tan, brown autumn colours there, and also some lighter ones there. Being the suit is quite dark, I'm probably going to go for some lighter colour leaves, I think. And along with that, these are probably going to look a bit garish. Some nice long green cable ties. Now, the idea behind this is to basically tie this to your ghillie suit and then come off of here as well for the sneaky leaves. So you put it through the middle, and this, hopefully this, obviously not that long, but at some point I will cut that down, because you don't want the leaf flat against your body like this, you know, because the whole thing will look flat all across the body. The idea is you want to break up this line here, this silhouette, you want to break this up. So you want to get that to stand off a little bit. Obviously not super high, but just enough so it, you know, that difference in there, breaking up that silhouette, if you can get the angle right, should be quite nice. But again, I'm still doing research on this. It's still a big learning curve for me, guys, so bear with. But yeah, super excited to get hands on with this and see how it goes. So I think that's where we're heading to next with the whole sort of cam concealment. Obviously, speaking of cam concealment, we do have the trusty tricolour face paint. Yeah, tricolour face paint there. Obviously, it isn't just for the face. It does crack me up when I see people apply, you know, cam cream, and they apply it just sort of around here or on the nose or here. No, it literally has to be everything, you know, eyebrows, hair, ears, neck, nose, absolute neck, everything. It has to be the whole of the head, you know. Anyone who knows anything about cam concealment knows you just absolutely cover everything. So that's where we're at. That's where we're heading to. I'm going to wrap this up pretty quickly, guys. So any questions, any comments, please bang them in now. Yeah, Scambo, thanks for your comment. Jamie Britt, yes, I'm super serious on here, mate. We are trying to I'm trying to give the cable dyes dusting with Halford's paint first, gets rid of the bright green. Yeah, go spare. I was thinking about perhaps giving it just a light dusting, although again, because the leaf suit is meant for fall and winter, it's quite dark. I didn't know if this would be quite nice to break it up, you know, or whether that's going to be too green. I think I'll maybe try one section, see how it looks, and if not, I'll like you say, just give it a slight dusting of Halford's paint or Krylon, whichever is your poison. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. JJ Actual, welcome, mate. Hope you're good. Yes, obviously the North Mountain Gear leaf suit. I will be adding natural foliage from our area, but what I wanted to do is just try and break it up initially with some sort of leaves and stuff, just to sort of, because the leaves that are on it are very, how can I put it? I'm trying to think of the type of leaf that they remind me of. But if I try and show you guys, so that is how the leaves look on the North Mountain Gear suit. They're quite small and very short, sharp edges. Whereas something like this, you know, will break that up quite nicely, I feel. You know, not going to go completely overboard, but just the odd bit here and there. But yes, JJ, mate, I will obviously perhaps add rubber bands here, you know, just to try and that I can add the foliage in that's in my natural surroundings. But yes, mate, as I said before in the first video, guys, as I said in the first video, yes, Nathan Knox, I've not looked at the IRR signature of that. I don't know. Is it? Yeah, it'd be interesting to try it. I will put some IR on it and see how it looks. But yeah, at the moment that's not really my main concern at the moment. But yeah, so guys, you know, like JJ said, you know, and all the questions, all the comments are coming in. This is a learning curve for me. I had some great feedback from the first video on this, helping me out with everything from just what type of tape to use, you know, this and the other, you know, how I can improve what I've already done and how I can make it different. So yeah, feel free to send us a DM or actually post a comment here. Any questions, any comments, any suggestions, really, how you think I could improve it. Because believe it or not, I don't know it all, contrary to popular belief. So guys, any questions, any comments? Because I'm going to wrap this up pretty quickly and get cracking. Drager, no SHOT Show this year. No, mate, we did, me and Tim done IWA and Enforce TAC last year. To be honest with you, the amount of work we got out of the Enforce TAC and that last year has basically seen us all the way through to pretty much now. And we're still working on stuff and companies from, you know, way back in sort of March last year. So we're super happy with that. So at the moment, you know, we're quite happy with the companies we're working with. We're not really looking to chase any new companies. We've actually got reviews coming out of our ears at the moment. So no, although it's good seeing all the new kit coming out of SHOT Show. It really is. There's some real good innovative stuff coming out of there. But yes, Scambo, real tree tape. Obviously I've got this. This is the Gorilla tape. But I think it might have been Ghost Bear that mentioned. He actually let me know that the Jack Pike stuff is actually a slightly less reflective. You know, it's more of a matte sort of felt tape, whereas this is clearly quite sort of PVC. You know, and it's yeah, it's not, when you put it in the light you can see just a bit of shine on that compared to the Jack Pike stuff. So I may switch this out. I probably will carry on using this because I bought it now, but yeah, I think the Jack Pike stuff may be the way to go. So right, guys, thanks for watching. I think there probably will be a part 3, just to let you know, guys, know how I'm going on with the North Mountain Gear ghillie suit. Really super excited to get cracking with that and see how that pans out. But other than that, I think I'm happy with how things are progressing. As you know, we've got our first event coming up in a couple of weeks with Sterling Airsoft down at Sennybridge. That'll be our first sort of, you know, special reconnaissance job down there, so we'll see how that goes. So guys, thanks for watching. As always, feel free to any questions, any comments, leave them in the chat below. Please hit the little bell icon so you know when I do part 3, it will let you know when I'm going live, and keep you up to date with all the good stuff.